Right now at 5, a 16-year-old driver leads police on a high-speed chase, hitting over 100 miles per hour while weaving through traffic.
And we've had showers through the evening and overnight hours. We've got a little pause, more showers on the way. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, local builders and organizations team up for affordable housing in Pittsburgh.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Monday, November the 24th. Just a few more days until Turkey Day. So hopefully everybody is prepped, ready to go. I'm ready to eat. I always like free food. I love a free meal. And in a way, it's kind of a free meal. Thanksgiving's more like a potluck in a lot of cases. You know, everybody brings a little something. You
know, best case scenario, that's what it is. I know this year I'm in charge of the mashed potatoes. And so I'm like, that is a really important dish to like nail, but it's not like the turkey, so I feel like a little less pressure, you know?
Yeah. So that's it can be tough. I'm not allowed to cook, so the only thing I'm responsible for is eating the food. So I've got it pretty easy. Maybe you've got it that easy as well, and maybe you've got a very short work week or school week this week, and if so, it's going to start off a bit on the wet side. We've got a live look from downtown Pittsburgh, where again we're still damp out there. We've got some light sprinkles here and there, but nothing really showing up on the Skywatch Storm Tracker for now. Our camera 7th and range line, same wet roadways and everything else out there, same from the MoDOT camera, 32nd in range line in Joplin. Wet roads, so remember it's a bit on the slick side out there if you're traveling this morning. Skywatch Storm Tracker, again, right now for us, there's nothing that's being picked up. Now remember, light drizzle, little sprinkles, things like that don't necessarily show up on here, but in terms of rainfall that it can pick up, nothing to see for now. But as we go back down to the south and west, eventually we'll get more showers beginning to fill in, and they'll start lifting across the area as we head through the morning and afternoon. Again, some fog out there this morning as well. Iola down about 2.5 miles of visibility. Yates Center, Chanute, Fredonia, Sedan, some reduced visibilities. Miami reduced visibility. So if you're traveling this morning, you folks at home, you should know this drill by now. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. And again, really slow down simply because, again, the roads are wet. There's leaves on some of these roads that really increases your stopping distance. And so you want to be cautious out there. Temperatures just kind of hovering into the low 50s. We do have Monette at 46 as the cool spot. Cassville sitting at 48. Everyone else, again, low 50s. Showers and maybe even a thunderstorm or two will be possible, especially as we head into the afternoon. Could get a rumble of thunder or two between about 2 and 6. No severe weather expected, and the thunder will be somewhat isolated out there, but a couple of storms will be possible, and showers continuing scattered in nature as we head into the evening hours. Kids heading out the door for school, again, grab the umbrella, raincoat, whatever it may be that they need, as it's going to be a bit on the wet side. We'll go low 50s as they head out the door. 55 for lunch and recess, scattered showers, and again, a few thunderstorms possible as they head home, about 57. That's where our highs are headed. It's one of those days where temperatures don't move a lot. We'll go low 50s by 9, mid 50s by noon, and upper 50s for our highs. South winds occasionally gusting upwards of 20 miles an hour. Now we will start to dry out late tonight into our Tuesday, and that cold air is still set to arrive late Tuesday. We'll tell you how cold it's going to get and take a look at that Thanksgiving forecast for you here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Just before 10 o'clock Saturday night, Webb City police officers spotted a pickup driving erratically, believed to be a possible DWI. Police say the 16-year-old driver took off, hitting speeds over 100 miles an hour and weaving through traffic. Troopers with Missouri State Highway Patrol and Jasper County deputies joined in before the truck finally stopped. He was arrested, ticketed for multiple offenses, and released to his parents. Officers say they'll submit felony fleeing charges to the juvenile office under Missouri's Valentine's Law, which makes running from a traffic stop a felony regardless of the driver's age. A judge dismisses a family lawsuit against a children's hospital in Wisconsin after it accidentally threw away a woman's brain meant for research. As Pavlina of Osta reports, the woman's mother is not letting it go.
Now all that research from Ashton's brain is all gone, and we're just going to have to learn the hard way instead of making life better for other children.
Ashton Fellens was diagnosed with Canavan disease as a baby. At just 3 years old, she received a revolutionary gene therapy treatment.
Those genes were still working in her body all her life. and that helped her have better quality.
Canavan is a rare disease. Most don't live past the age of 10. Ashton passed away at 24. Her mom, Arlo, says the scientific knowledge gained from her brain could have helped ongoing research to find a cure, not just for Canavans.
And that would also help Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and any other of the diseases that were related to myelin.
The felons were in court Monday with Children's Wisconsin to determine if they had a valid case.
It was dismissed because of what the judge said, that he placed the brain as an organ, and he said his ruling on organs is that we signed a document that stated once we turn over the organ and they remove the organ, that they can do anything they want with it.
Felon says there needs to be accountability so no one else has to experience this with organ donation.
There's no responsibility, there's no accountability on the hospital's part. And that's got to change.
Dr. Paula Leone has been working with Canavan patients for nearly 3 decades.
The sample is irreplaceable. We will never have the information, unfortunately, and the scientific loss is immense.
She performed Ashton's gene therapy when she was a baby.
This would have been the only proof of biodistribution of a gene that was administered through gene therapy 21 years earlier.
Felon says while the case was dismissed, she's going to continue to fight.
I didn't get any answers, and I'm still wanting my answers. And I'm not going to let them think that this is going to go away now.
The first 10 homes in Pittsburgh City Housing Incentive Program, also known as CHIP, are taking shape. This weekend, the community got a chance to tour a few of the new homes. City officials say it's inspiring to see partners come together to create affordable housing, with several local builders and organizations helping make these homes a reality. The CHIP program provides grant funding to contractors once a home is built and sold to a qualified buyer, helping expand access to quality, affordable housing in the community. Students in Fredonia had a chance to take a plunge for Special Olympics Kansas. KOAM's Mitch Adams brings us the chilly details.
Some schools even cancel classes for half the day just for this event.
It may be cold and it may be wet, but students and staff at Fredonia Junior High School braved the conditions to support Special Olympics Kansas.
The teachers love it as the money that we raise, part of it goes back to their schools, unified programming, so that they can do more events and spread the word about what Special Olympics Kansas is doing.
Students have been raising funds for the organization, which all led up to the plunge itself.
I hear from students that it's a lot of fun being able to go out into their local businesses to fundraise to help out Special Olympics Kansas athletes. And on the day of the plunge, it's an amazing event.
Plunge may be a lot of fun, but Special Olympics Kansas hopes the kids are able to realize the support they bring to the table.
Once they get out of the pool and dry off and then go back to class, they can take away that, hey, it wasn't just I jumped into a cold pool of water. It's, hey, I did this so that this athlete who is also my classmate or my friend, can have a voice in their community.
Reporting in Fredonia, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Coming up, Caribbean security concerns grow as the U.S. increases military presence near Venezuela. Plus, breakthrough in Ukraine peace talks. The White House announces an updated and refined proposal after weekend negotiations in Geneva. And we have wet and cloudy conditions in the 4 states with scattered showers ahead. Chris has a look at your weekly forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping nation World Watch, Venezuelans celebrated President Nicolas Maduro's 63rd birthday on Sunday, November 23rd, amid voting and rising tensions with the United States. Communes across the country participated in the 4th popular consultation of the year to elect communal projects. In Caracas, voters also marked Maduro's birthday. Meanwhile, the U.S. is preparing to escalate pressure on Maduro's government with a military buildup in the Caribbean and authorized CIA operations. The FAA warned airlines of a potentially hazardous situation over Venezuela. The Trump administration is touting progress on its peace proposal to end Russia's invasion of Ukraine after holding a, quote, highly productive talk in Switzerland. Two European leaders are meeting to discuss the peace plan, but as the U.S. looks to wind down the Russia-Ukraine war, it's also ratcheting up the pressure on Venezuela, despite a new CBS News poll showing that Americans are overwhelmingly against taking military action there. CBS News' Bradley Blackburn has more from New York.
The White House says talks between U.S. and Ukrainian officials in Geneva over the weekend have led to an updated and refined peace proposal to end Russia's war on Ukraine.
I think we made a tremendous amount of progress. There's still some work to be done.
Sources familiar say there are also discussions for Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to possibly return to Washington this week, ahead of President Trump's Thanksgiving deadline for Ukraine's response to the peace plan, though the president has hinted that date is not set in stone.
We'd like to get to peace.
Earlier Sunday, President Trump had claimed that the war in Ukraine wouldn't have happened, quote, with strong and proper U.S. and Ukrainian leadership, adding that Ukraine has expressed zero gratitude. Congressional Democrats have slammed the peace plan, which originally called for Ukraine to cede territory and shrink its military.
That is a very good deal for Russia. It is a horrible deal for Ukraine, for our allies, and even for our own national security.
Meanwhile, the Trump administration is ramping up pressure on Venezuela, now officially designating a cartel it says is tied to leader Nicolas Maduro as a terror organization. The Air Force is also sharing images of B-52 bombers simulating a nighttime attack along the country's coast. This is a new CBS News poll shows that 70% of Americans oppose taking military action in Venezuela. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
Well, still to come, The Weeknd makes music history with his billion-dollar tour. The After Hours Till Dawn tour sells over 7.5 million tickets. Plus, we have wet and cloudy conditions in the 4 states with scattered showers ahead. Chris has a look at your Monday forecast. A beloved TV sitcom returns to the small screen, while The Weeknd continues to take the stage for his long-running tour. Gwen Baumgarten has your Eye on Entertainment report.
The weekend may be over, but musician The Weeknd is here for the long haul. His After Hours Till Dawn tour will continue into next summer after kicking off in 2022. And the long-running show has paid off. Live Nation just announced the tour has officially passed the $1 billion mark, fueled by the sale of more than 7.5 million tickets. The Barone family is returning to their iconic kitchen table to celebrate as TV's Everybody Loves Raymond turns 30.
There's so many favorite episodes.
Tonight's anniversary special revisits the beloved sitcom's most popular episodes with candid conversations from the cast.
No one came close to Doris Roberts. No one.
The special also includes an emotional tribute to the late Doris Roberts and Peter Boyle, who portrayed Frank and Marie.
Just the gesture of him reaching out to me.
It's everything.
Yeah.
The Everybody Loves Raymond reunion airs tonight on CBS and Paramount Plus.
At the North Hollywood DMV.
Also on CBS, buckle up for a special episode of new series DMV.
Because at the NoHo branch, it's not just the DMV. It's the DM we.
It's a field trip turned recon mission as Barb's ragtag team heads to a rival DMV.
His employees work so well together, they're literally lifting him up on their shoulders.
Watch tonight as actor Randall Park guest stars on the new comedy series DMV. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Looks like it'll be a great time. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got those scattered showers we've had overnight. Most of us are drying out, at least for now. More rain on the way. A full look at your forecast when we come back. Time now, 5:19. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:21 on this Monday morning. We're starting with the fog tracker where, again, along and east of the 69 corridor, some patchy fog out there. Iola down just over 2 miles of visibility. Yates Center about 4.5. Chanute, Fredonia, Sedan, Parsons all under 7. Independence, and then Parsons just a hair over 7. Same with Nowata and Miami. So again, just be careful out there. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them, and drive slow, because with the wet roadways, leaves on those roadways, your stopping distance is increased pretty significantly. So you want to make sure you're being cautious out there. And again, also watch out for the potential for rapidly changing visibilities. Right now, Skywatch Storm Tracker, not much out there. Is that to say that we're not seeing some rain? Not at all. Remember, drizzle, things like that, the radar just can't pick up. It's not dense enough for the radar beam to reflect off of. So there could be some patchy drizzle out there for some of us. More showers, though, on the way. In fact, could even get a thunderstorm or two as we roll into the afternoon hours. So here we are by noon, scattered showers, and it's not going to be rain everywhere all at once. You can see at various times throughout the day, some of you will get pauses in the rain activity, while others do not. And we'll have the opportunity for a thunderstorm or two between about 2 and 6. No severe weather expected, but excuse me, there could be a rumble of thunder or two. We go later into the evening, we'll start to see these showers begin to wind down. I think once we get past about 11 o'clock, midnight at the latest, that's it. We're done. The rain is out of here. It is over. We'll start cloudy on our Tuesday, and then as this cold front pushes through the afternoon into the evening, we'll have our winds shift out of the northwest. They'll be gusting up to 20. Our skies will clear, but our temperatures will begin to drop as we go late Tuesday, heading into our Wednesday, bringing us to much more seasonable levels as we get closer to Thanksgiving. So here's just a quick look at those temperatures. Now, ahead of that front tomorrow, we're going to go upper 50s, maybe even some low 60s. But as that front pushes through later in the day, and you can see that temperature change right here, we'll see our temperatures begin to drop. They don't plummet, but it will get pretty darn cold as we go Tuesday night into Wednesday. We're dropping back into low 30s, and you can see by Wednesday afternoon, we're only making the upper 40s, maybe a 50-degree reading or two out there, so a much chillier day for us as we roll into Wednesday. All right, for this morning, though, scattered showers, low 50s, temperatures really not moving much, close to the mid-50s by 11 o'clock this morning. Into the afternoon, our highs upper 50s, and again between about 2 and 6. Could get an isolated thunderstorm or two in there. South winds occasionally gusting upwards of 20. Now, as that rain continues through the evening, again, it'll start to wind down as we get closer to 11 o'clock midnight tonight, leaving us cloudy and mild back in the low 50s. Winds expected to be calm, and then that front will push through. So again, ahead of it, we'll go into the 60s, or near 60, I should say. Gusty northwest winds behind it. Low 30s Tuesday night, mid 40s for Wednesday and for Thanksgiving, but we are still at this time looking to be dry for Thanksgiving, just considerably chillier, back into the upper 40s for those highs. Low 40s and heading into Black Friday, so if you're waking up early for those deals, you want to make sure you're bundled up. We're going to make the upper 40s, low 50s by the afternoon. Rain chances build into the weekend, and yes, that is a wintry mix next Tuesday. Now, we are still several days away, and that chance, as you can see, is pretty low. So on Black Friday, don't also stock up on bread and milk at this time, but something we'll keep an eye on. And just to be aware of, I mean, we're settling into December, and that colder weather is going to start to kick in as we roll through the next several days. That's your forecast. We're going to send it over to Samantha now with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Current cardiac screening tools miss nearly half of people at risk of a heart attack. A Mount Sinai Health System study raises questions about the accuracy of using risk scores to assess the chances of a heart attack. Researchers say most heart attacks occur in patients who would be considered low or intermediate risk and recommend doctors shift their focus to detecting plaque in the heart to assess heart attack risk. More evidence the HPV vaccine is successful at preventing cervical cancer. 2 Cochrane reviews found girls given the HPV vaccine between the age of 16 were 80% less likely to develop cervical cancer. The research also shows side effects were minor, like having a sore arm. The study's authors say this is clear and consistent evidence the vaccine works. Which is best to lose weight, diet or exercise? The answer is both, according to researchers at the University of Cambridge. They found a combination of eating healthy and exercise led to greater fat loss than just one or the other. In addition, diet and exercise together led patients to not only drop pounds, but also to lose the hidden visceral fat that surrounds the organs. A new study in Science Advances says typical levels of fluoride in community drinking water do not harm cognitive ability and may actually improve it. Researchers looked at decades of test scores from nearly 27,000 Americans, finding students exposed to recommended fluoride levels scored higher than those with none, with no cognitive decline later in life. The findings push back against a recent government study linking fluoride to lower IQ, a study based on extremely high exposure well above federal limits. This year, Utah and Florida became the first states to ban fluoride in community water. One Illinois family has an extra reason to be thankful this holiday season. After spending 6 long months in St. Louis, Missouri hospital following a premature birth, their baby girl is finally going home. Russell Kinsall has the story.
The staff at St. Louis Children's Hospital threw a goodbye party for Macy Ward and Aaron Coates and their baby girl, Frankie, after a 6-month medical stay. Their ordeal started in May.
I had went into preterm labor. She was just kind of ready to come out.
Macy Ward was only 25 weeks into her pregnancy. She had suffered hemorrhaging, and doctors put their unborn baby's survival rate below 50%.
We were prepared for the worst. And then I was life-flighted to Barnes, Jewish. She came at 25 weeks and 2 days.
Frankie weighed less than 2 pounds, was only 12 inches long. During her stay, she suffered chronic lung disease and pulmonary hypertension.
These babies can face a lot of complications, and Frankie has.
Dr. Jillian Pett is a WashU Medicine neonatologist at St. Louis Children's Hospital.
We started our small baby unit in 2023, and we've admitted over 200 babies to the small baby unit.
The specialized unit focuses on babies like Frankie, born more than 3 months premature. Friends and family held fundraisers so Ward and Coates could stay with Frankie and not have to go back to work.
There's no way we'd have made it without them. Yeah, they've been with us every step of the way.
And grandparents watched their 3-year-old, Finley.
We had never left her alone before or overnight anywhere until she was born.
After 6 months, Frankie weighs nearly 12 pounds and is feeding from a bottle. She's made remarkable progress.
I'm just very thankful that she's here with us and that she's doing as well as she's doing.
Frankie's finally going home just in time for her mother's birthday and Thanksgiving.
That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, Chinook kicks off the holiday season with Western flair.
And we've got some scattered shower chances increasing once again across the area. A little bit dry for now, but more rain is on the way. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, Max Ford of Nevada partners with the animal shelter for a good cause.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:32. I'm Samantha Walker.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Monday, November the 24th. Of course, just a few days now out from Thanksgiving, and of course also out from the biggest debt day ever is Black Friday, you know, where you suddenly rack up more debt than you could have ever spent in your life in terms of buying those deals.
You know, our family tradition, because we always spent too much on Black Friday, is now we just spend the whole day decorating, so we don't even try to leave the house.
Sometimes, yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. I'm not a big fan of the Black Friday crowds myself. Now, I will do my holiday shopping, but I will do it once things die down a bit. But of course, you get closer to Christmas, more and more people, and it's almost like every day is like Black Friday with all those last-minute shoppers.
Most of my shopping done, so fingers
crossed.
Well,
good. I haven't started yet, but we're getting the list together, so I know I'll be starting here before too much longer. And if you're going to do so, make sure you're ready to bundle up because we got some chilly weather later this week. But first, we got to get through our Monday. We're going to start with that live look from downtown Pittsburgh, where again the roads are wet. There's nothing on the Skywatch Storm Tracker right now. Does that mean we don't have, like some light drizzle or something like that? Of course, we could still have that. Just won't show up on radar. Our camera, 7th in range line in Joplin. Looks good so far. Same from MoDOT camera, 32nd in range line. A little bit on the wet side on the roadways, but otherwise, right now, not really any noticeable or detectable rain falling across the area. But eventually, we'll have more shower and thunderstorm development as we head into the morning and afternoon hours out there. So we will get more rain. This is just one of those brief pauses. Also, at least right now, a along and west of the 69 corridors where we've got some fog. Iola still just over 2 miles of visibility. We got Yates Center, Chanute, Fredonia, Sedan, Independence with some reduced visibilities, and there's slightly reduced visibilities here. Parsons, Miami, Veneta, Newata. So slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. And of course, do give yourself more stopping distance. With wet roadways and leaves on those roadways, it does increase your stopping distance by quite a bit. Temperatures this morning, most of us in the low 50s. We do have some upper 40s out there, with Monette as the cool spot at 46, Cassville 48, Neosho and Carthage both at 49. So again, showers begin to increase again in coverage. They'll still be scattered, so it's not rain everywhere all at once. And then between about 2 and 6, we could get an embedded thunderstorm or two out there. No severe weather expected, but we could get some rumbles of thunder. We'll have more showers and maybe a rumble of thunder possible later in the evening before things do begin to wrap up by late evening, around, say, 11 o'clock midnight tonight. So kids heading out the door this morning, grab that rain jacket. We're going to be about 51, some scattered showers. Same for lunchtime, 55, 57 as they head home. And again, an embedded thunderstorm or two will be possible. Temperatures don't do a lot of moving out there. We'll go low 50s by 9, mid 50s by noon, upper 50s for our highs, with south winds occasionally gusting upwards of 20 miles an hour. We still have that cold weather that's on the way for the second half of our Tuesday. We'll talk about that and a look at your Thanksgiving forecast here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Weeks after being released from ICE custody, a Maryland mother has been deported to Vietnam. The woman has not been in Vietnam since she was a child, but her attorney says her client's case had some unique challenges. Sharon Yo reports.
This is the last photo taken of Melissa Tran in the United States. Weeks after a federal judge ordered her release from Tacoma's detention center, Vietnam approved ICE's deportation request and issued Tran a passport. ICE deported her this week.
I'm just heartbroken that it ended this way.
Jenny Pascarella is with the Seattle Clemency Project. She was responsible for freeing Tran from detention by using a centuries-old legal tool that lets detainees ask a judge to review their confinement. This was Tran last month, shortly after she went home to Hagerstown, Maryland, reuniting with her kids and husband.
I'm grateful for them, and I'm thankful that, like I said, for everything that they've done to my family and myself.
But release from custody doesn't end someone's immigration case.
It didn't undo the fact that she has this really old deportation order that was based on a really old criminal conviction from when she was 18 and in Virginia.
Pascarella says it's especially complex for people from certain countries.
For all of these folks from Vietnam and Cambodia and Laos or other countries that historically haven't accepted their citizens for deportation, those deportation orders are valid and they can be executed as long as the government obtains the passport or the travel document to be able to send them back.
The sudden swing from freedom to forced removal is now leaving a family without a wife and mother, something Pascarella says many in the U.S. will never understand.
In these cases of individuals who have been here their whole lives, they have everything at stake. I think most people can wrap their heads around how shocking it would be to be suddenly removed from the only country that you know and have any connection to.
To be the first to see. Perfect. Well, Saturday, downtown Chanute had a full day of holiday fun, hosting a Western-themed parade. Area organizations took part, bringing out horses, festive floats, and plenty of holiday spirit. After the parade, the celebration continued with a Christmas music program at the Central Park Pavilion with performers from across the region and out of state. The Nevada Animal Shelter teamed up with Max Ford of Nevada for Drive for Your Community, a national program put on by the Ford Motor Company. Throughout the day, the community stopped by for a simple way to support local pets. Organizers say there was no pressure and no sales pitch, just a quick drive for a good cause, helping provide care and second chances for shelter animals. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Coming up, the Thanksgiving travel rush begins. Tomorrow, TSA prepares to screen nearly 18 million passengers as airports gear up for their busiest days of the year. Plus, the Cola Wars gets a healthy twist. Pepsi's new prebiotic Cola takes on rivals Olipop and Coca-Cola Simply Pop. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, this week kicks off the busy holiday travel season. The Federal Aviation Administration says it expects tomorrow to be the peak day for air travel, with more than 52,000 flights. The Wednesday before Thanksgiving and the Sunday after are also predicted to be the other two busiest flying days, with more than 51,000 flights expected each day. The Transportation Security Administration says it expects to screen nearly 18 million people between tomorrow and Sunday. Tonight, lucky Powerball players have a shot at winning the game's estimated $654 million jackpot. That's the second largest Powerball prize of the year so far. The estimated cash value is over $303 million. And this Black Friday, Pepsi is releasing its first prebiotic cola. It comes months after the company purchased prebiotic soda brand Poppi for nearly $2 billion. The new cola line takes on rivals Olipop and Coca-Cola's Simply Pop. Pepsi's prebiotic cola will first launch online at multiple retailer websites, including Amazon, Walmart, and Kroger, for a limited time. The soft drink line is expected to hit store shelves sometime next year. Now's your chance to own a bit of Muppet history. For the first time, the Jim Henson Company is pulling iconic pieces out of the archives and onto the auction block. CBS's Gwen Baumgarten looks at the ongoing legacy of the late puppeteer and Muppet creator.
In the words of Kermit the Frog, it's not easy being green, but this auction is sure to make quite a bit of it. For the first time, a chance to bid on the fantastic world of Jim Henson, from this massive Crystal of Truth prop to each bust used in the Muppet Christmas Carol.
This is the first time ever that you can get an authorized, authenticated piece of Jim Henson memorabilia, and that includes puppets. There's this little tree creature.
Roy Parker is with Julian's Auction House, where more than 400 items pulled from the archives of the Jim Henson Company will go home with the highest bidder.
Fraggle Rock fans may recognize Uncle Traveling Matt. He's the biggest ticket item here. This original show puppet is estimated to go for between $40,000 and $60,000.
Other memorabilia comes from Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, the Dark Crystal, even Henson's own closet.
There's some weird stuff here.
Yeah.
Many are recognizable, others some pretty deep cuts.
We have these two puppets that are from the first season of Saturday Night Live. It was a very weird segment with like fantasy sort of lands and kind of gross looking creatures, and it did not work.
And here you have to hand it to the iconic Miss Piggy. Both this glove and her lavender suede shoes are expected to sell high and fast. Proof that you're never too old to be pulled in by a good puppet. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The auction begins on Tuesday to celebrate the Jim Henson Company's 70th anniversary. The profits will go towards its archive preservation efforts in continuing Henson's legacy. That's it for Consumer Watch, and now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
We've still got some wet roadways out there. Right now, nothing showing up on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, but more showers on the way and maybe even a thunderstorm or two as we head into the afternoon. Break down those details, talk about the colder weather that's on the way heading into Thanksgiving when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now, 5:44. We'll be right back.
A new push is underway in Congress to get whole milk back on the menu at your child's school. Details in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. Health officials say at least 31 babies in 15 states are being treated for botulism. It follows an outbreak tied to ByHeart formula. The company confirming lab tests found samples of the ByHeart formula were contaminated with the type of bacteria that can cause the illness. Investigators in at least 3 states said the formula remains on some store shelves. That's despite a nationwide recall. Infant botulism is a potentially deadly illness. Symptoms can take up to 30 days to develop. No deaths have been reported. Whole milk could soon be offered again in schools. The Senate passing the Whole Milk for Healthy Kids Act. If the House follows suit and the President signs the bill, schools would once again have the option to serve whole and reduced fat milk right alongside fat-free and 1% varieties currently allowed. Supporters say this would align schools with current nutrition science. And a cow running loose on the highway in Hilliard, Ohio, had police on the move. It was spotted on busy Interstate 270, forcing crews to close all lanes for several hours. At one point, they tried to rope it. Finally, they were able to use a grain bucket to keep the cow still in order to secure a rope around its neck. The cow was later identified as a Highland cow named Marigold, and she is now back home. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
Now let's take it over to Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, thankfully no cows running around the area this morning, at least not that we've seen or heard of yet, but we do have some fog out there, so if there were any, that'd make it a little harder to see. So really, so far, along and west of the 69 corridors where we've seen our fog this morning, with Iola now just over a mile of visibility, Yates Center down to just over 4, Chanute, Fredonia, Independence, and Sedan, all with reduced visibilities and slightly reduced visibilities. Parsons, Pittsburgh, Miami, Veneta, and Nawada. So again, slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. And of course, also give yourself extra time for stopping between the wet roadways, there we go, and of course leaves on the roads as well. That makes your stopping distance a lot greater than what you're used to. So just be cautious out there this morning and don't get as tongue-tied as I just did. That's a fun nursery rhyme, I think. Wet roadways. We'll teach kids that. All right, Skywatch Storm Tracker isn't showing anything in our area. Could we have some patchy drizzle out there? We certainly could. It's just not going to show up on radar, but we do have more showers on the way and could even get a thunderstorm or two as we roll into the afternoon. So showers increasing again through the morning, and by this afternoon, showers across the region. Now, these are scattered, so again, you'll have pauses here and there where some of you aren't getting rain while your neighbors are. And between about 2 and 6, we could get a rumble of thunder or two, straight thunderstorm or two. No severe weather is expected. It's not going to be anything too crazy, but some thunderstorm activity is possible out there. As we go later into the evening, it'll be about 11 o'clock midnight. We'll finally start to see showers and maybe a lingering rumble of thunder clear on out of here. It'll be cloudy overnight tonight into our Tuesday, at least the start of the day. Then we have that cold front that approaches. Now it'll push the clouds out with it. We'll have northwest winds gusting upwards of about 20 miles an hour. We're going to have temperatures getting downright cold, but about seasonably cold back behind this front. So as we head into Wednesday, now we've got partly cloudy skies, but we've also got considerably chillier temperatures out there for Wednesday as well. In fact, here's a look at our temperatures. Now tomorrow, ahead of the front, these temperatures aren't bad by noon. Upper 50s, low 60s. Not a bad day, right? That's going to be pretty mild. But then you can watch that front approach by the evening, and there's that front. There's the temperature drop. Thankfully, they won't necessarily plummet, but they will eventually get cold as we go overnight and into Wednesday morning. So we're talking starting Wednesday into the low 30s. Okay, some of you even below freezing for Wednesday morning, and our temperature is only climbing to about the mid to upper 40s by Wednesday afternoon, so do be prepared for some much colder weather. All right, scattered showers again across the region through the morning thanks to the clouds and the rain and everything. Again, our temperatures also do not move much, maybe about the low 50s to start, mid 50s by 11 o'clock this morning. Into the afternoon, again between 2 and 6, possibly 2 and 8, could get a rumble of thunder or two. No severe weather, nothing like that, and our temperatures eventually making highs into the upper 50s with south winds at around 20 miles an hour. We'll go into the evening hours, and again, showers, perhaps a rumble of thunder or two will continue. They start winding down by 11 o'clock midnight, leaving us cloudy overnight, mild, low 50s, and winds expected to be calm before they switch out of the northwest tomorrow and start gusting again upwards of about 20 miles an hour. So ahead of the front, as I mentioned, temperatures about 60. You saw on the temperature map, some upper 50s, low 60s. That's going to be about the median point there. And we drop back into the low 30s by Tuesday night. Wednesday into Thanksgiving, chilly but dry. Upper 40s out there. And if you're planning on doing any Black Friday shopping, it is going to be a chilly start. Some upper 30s, low 40s to start the day Friday. We do have some rain chances, but at this time they're expected to hold off until later in the day. And I know a lot of those Black Friday sales, anything you're looking for is going to be gone by 8 a.m. anyway, so that's good news. At least the rain holding off. We'll be in the low 50s, upper 40s for our highs, so do bundle up and make sure you've got a rain jacket and an umbrella. You don't want those gifts getting soaked. Rain chances continue into the weekend and the start of next week, and yes, as we head into December, we do have a wintry mix out there. It's a low chance. We're still obviously several days away, but it is something we want to watch as we could get our first wintry round of weather for this season by sometime next week. That's Check Your Forecast. We'll be back with more right after this.
A new survey is shedding light on which social media platforms Americans are spending their time on. Pew Research Center surveyed more than 5,000 adults, and the majority said they use YouTube. Facebook came in second, with 71% reporting they use the platform, and half said they use Instagram. The survey also showed adults under the age of 30 are more likely to use Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and Reddit. When it comes to genders, women are more likely to use Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Men, on the other hand, are more likely to use Reddit and X, formerly known as Twitter.
Okay, so, I mean, I know I'm getting older, but just something that caught me in that script is we get little pronouncers or things to help us out. They put in a hyphen in between you and tube and separated Facebook into two words. I mean, like somebody much older than we are was reading that script and needed that. But Instagram was not done like that. Neither was Snapchat. But the other two, it amused me. I'm sorry. It was just interesting to me. I'm like, I remember when YouTube, some of you folks at home remember, there was a 10-minute video limit. Your videos could only be 10 minutes. That was the max. And the quality and the resolution were terrible back then. It's changed a little bit because now we get like 48-hour videos of like people screaming or goats screaming or things like that because we're putting social media to good use. No goats screaming this morning, although poor Lori and Sam are in here going, they're probably going to start screaming in the commercial break. We got scatter showers out there. We're going to go through the low 50s to about mid 50s by 11 o'clock this morning. Again, between about 2 and 6, maybe 2 and 8. Could get a stray thunderstorm or two in there. No severe weather expected. And we're cool today. Upper 50s with south winds gusting to 20. Showers continue through the late evening. Should wrap up by about 11 o'clock midnight. Cloudy overnight, back into low 50s with calm winds. Now tomorrow, ahead of our cold front, we're all right. About 60 for our high. Skies clearing. Winds gusting to 20 out of the northwest. Then we're back in the low 30s overnight into Wednesday, chilly into the 40s as we head into Wednesday and Thursday for Thanksgiving, upper 40s, low 50s for Black Friday. Let's check your forecast. A whole nother hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.